April is Confederate Heritage Month, and yes, unfortunately, that is a real thing. Now, because true patriots don't betray their country, in order to remind neo-Confederates and lost cause ass clowns what their actual heritage is, the Sons of Liberty will be executing a daily series throughout this entire month, commemorating anniversary events and honoring Southerners who remained loyal to the United States. If you're just coming across this video, make sure to follow the Sons of Liberty, as we'll be upsetting neo-Confederates and lost cause bigots all month long. And also some leftists who thought the only thing I was allowed to do on my social media channel is talk exclusively about politics. But I digress. Today is another multi-post, multi-video day. On day 9 of Union Victory Month, we commemorate the complete and total subjugation and the unconditional surrender of traitor Confederate insurrectionists under Traitor Colonel Robert E. Lee. That's right, today is Union Victory Day. In 1865, for weeks leading up to this day, the Army of Northern Virginia had been doggedly pursued by Confederates after having been badly mauled at Richmond, Petersburg, and other locations across Virginia. Lee was attempting to flee west and then south to link up with fellow traitor Joseph Johnston, who commanded the remnants of the Army of Tennessee and was fighting for his life to delay Union General William Sherman in the Carolinas. Unfortunately for insurrectionists fighting for their slave-owning oligarch masters, or perhaps fortunately for the United States of America, the Confederates were basically done. They were exhausted, wearing tattered uniforms, low on food and ammo and supplies, severely demoralized, and basically in a state of, he's dead but don't know it yet. Lee had been frantically trying to resupply his army whilst fleeing pursuing Union forces, but he was prevented from doing so at every opportunity. Lee had been outmaneuvered by Union General Philip Sheridan, who has a tank named after him. Sheridan's cavalry managed to get ahead of Lee and cut off his retreat. Lee woke up on the morning of the 9th and decided to attack, incorrectly presuming that ahead of him was just a lightly armed cavalry screen. Wrong. Lee was faced by cavalry and 2 full corps of infantry. Lee sent an officer out with a white dish rag, the only clean white thing they could find besides Lee's immaculate uniform that he would end up wearing to the surrender party later. There were also some words exchanged between Confederate traitor Longstreet and Union loudmouth George Custer. Yes, that General Custer. And Longstreet basically told Custer to lay his prayers and concerns at the altar of St. Fluapap. St. Fluapap stands for shut the fuck up as politely as possible. And so on this day in 1865, 160 years ago, near the town of Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia, traitor Colonel Robert E. Lee surrendered his Army of Northern Virginia to Union General Ulysses S. Grant after getting its ass soundly kicked. This surrender would ultimately lead to the complete collapse of the Confederacy, also known as Traitors to America. Fun fact, the surrender took place in the house of Wilmer McLean. Wilmer was a grocer whose house in Manassas was part of the first Battle of Manassas, or Bull Run. After that battle, Wilmer moved to Appomattox to escape the war, thinking that it would be safe. Wrong. Anyway, we refuse to acknowledge Lee's Confederate rank of general. Robert E. Lee was a United States Army colonel when he betrayed the United States. No nations ever recognized the Confederacy, which makes Lee's rank as a general illegitimate. If that upsets you, then get fucked and die mad about it. We don't simp for losers and enslavers who fomented and prosecuted an insurrection because they were ass mad about not being able to own black people. And any motherfucker who does is, quite frankly, un-American. For the duration of the month of April, the Sons of Liberty is running a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo to create a year-long documentary web series on Civil War history. We have over 80,000 subscribers on YouTube alone, so if just 10% of them gave $5 each, we'd be well past our funding goal. Funding this campaign means that the Sons of Liberty admins get to take you on an exciting historical journey and, at the same time, help educate or debunk, depending, various bits of Civil War history, myths, legends, and lies. A reminder that the Confederacy were traitors who betrayed the United States and tried to destroy the Union out of spite. A reminder that heritage, not hate, is lost cause horseshit. A reminder that the lost cause narrative is revisionist history bullshit. A reminder that the South seceded over slavery and economic factors tied to slavery. Also, another reminder that the Confederacy is a bunch of traitors who lost, got their asses kicked in a war that they started, and were forced to beg to be readmitted into the Union. P.S. Your flag is a participation trophy. Die mad about it. Hashtag not sorry, not sorry. And just because I don't do it in my Confederate Heritage Month videos, here's an obligatory Mikey appearance, who still doesn't want to be held.
And now it's time for the throw punch!